Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all our participants. We are thrilled to have you here for this Skillveda webinar. At Skillveda, our mission is to empower your growth through accessible, high-quality learning experiences from certification courses to hands-on training sessions. Skillveda is your partner in skill development, offering a wide range of webinars, offline workshops, short-term courses, and training programs designed to help you unlock your potential and achieve your career goals. In today's webinar on the advanced life skills, we will explore the key topics like emotional intelligence, effective communication, goal setting, stress management, assertiveness, and leadership skills, aiming to enhance your personal and professional growth. We are fortunate to be joined by Ms. 𝗔𝗱𝘃𝗃, a seasoned educationist and CBSE resource person. With more than 21 years of experience, she has empowered countless educators and students. Get ready to tap into her expertise and take away valuable insights. Welcome, Ms. 𝗔𝗱𝘃.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's an honor to be here and most welcome from my side also. And very good evening to all of you. Today's session of Advanced Life Skill for Success actually is not about the theories, about the lectures, and about other things that we usually get to know in these sessions like that, in the workshops like that. It is rather going to be more about your patterns, how you think, how you take your lives, and how serious you are about your responses. Usually in life, we react. We do not respond to the situations. So here I have a short activity before we get into and we dive deep into this life skills, advanced life skills topic. I would just want you to be quite honest in your responses. There is a need analysis questionnaire that I'm sharing here with you, and I would want you to sit with a piece of a paper and a pen, and I would want you to write your responses before I discuss them all with you. Please take a minute for each question. I will be reading the questions out to you so that you have a better hand on them. It says you receive a vague message from your manager. We need to talk. What do you do in such a situation? You assume the worst and feel anxious about it. You ignore it until the meeting happens. You prepare possible topics and clarify if needed. Or you ask a colleague what it could be all about because you're curious to know why you have been texted by your manager. Please write the correct answer. And please be yourself. That is very, very, very important. Do not go for ideal answers because I know there could be some questions which have obvious ideal answers, and most of us go for them only because we want to score better. But I just want you to be in the situation, be mindful of the situation, and then give a response because that would be your true self. So we are here looking for your true self. Okay. Next question says, during a meeting, someone interrupts you repeatedly. You usually calmly say, let me finish, please. You continue, but you feel irritated. You stop speaking and let it go, or you interrupt them back the next time. Please give your correct response only. The first that comes to your mind would be your right response. The next question is, you have multiple deadlines, but one task keeps getting delayed. You should either work on easier task first. You should keep thinking about the pending task and don't start. You should wait for pressure to build up, or you should break it into smaller steps and begin. Please mark your answer. The next question is, a colleague takes credit for all the work that you have done, but it was unintentional. So what would you do? You would let it go because it's not worth it. You would feel upset but say nothing. You would clarify your role at the right time. You would confront them immediately. What would be your true response should be noted here. Next is you strongly disagree with a team decision. You go along to avoid the conflict. You discuss your perspective with reasoning. You complain later to others or you withdraw from the discussion. Please think before you answer. But then again, it has to be your true self. Please don't forget, it is all about that only. The next question is, when you feel overwhelmed with emotions, you distract yourself completely, you react immediately, You pause and process before responding. You share instantly with anyone who is available to you. Next question. Someone asks for help when you are already busy. You say a yes and manage somehow because you are kind. You offer help later or suggest alternatives. You refuse them directly because you yourself are busy, or you ignore the request. How would you respond? Next is, while making an important decision, you rely more on what others suggest, what feels right instantly, a logic mixed with data and intuition, or avoiding the decision. You have to be honest. That was the first condition. Okay, the next is, in a group setting, you usually wait for others to approach you. You introduce yourself to a few people. You stay quiet and keep observing. Observe first, then engage meaningfully. How do you react? Please register your answer. Okay, next is, when you make a mistake at work, your first response is you acknowledge and correct it. You feel bad for a long time. You justify it, or you hope that no one has noticed, so you can just let it be. Next is, you receive conflicting feedback from two seniors. You follow the one you like more. You seek clarity and align the expectations. You get confused and delay action, or you ignore both. Okay, next question. When faced with a stressful deadline, you work continuously without breaks. You plan and prioritize the key tasks. You panic and lose focus. You procrastinate and rush later. Next, a team member is underperforming. You offer support or constructive feedback. You complain to others. You ignore it because it is not your role. You take over their work. Second last question. You are asked to do something you are uncomfortable with. Now, what would you do? You agree to avoid discomfort. You refuse bluntly. You express your concern respectfully, or you delay your response. Last but not the least, after a long day, you reflect on your actions. You rarely reflect and relax as it had been already a long day. You focus only on what went wrong. You identify both your strengths and the areas to improve, or you just distract yourself. Okay, I hope you have already answered all the questions. Now, see, review your answers once because this is your true self if you have been honest. That was the first condition. Just see, go through your answers and see that how many times you have tried to avoid the situation, how many times you have been real, how many times you have paused and you have actually given a second thought to your answers, because these patterns genuinely define who you are. Whether you avoid the situations, whether you react, or whether you respond, there is a very thin line between response and reaction. This is where the life skills enter. Okay, I'm showing you the answers, ideal answers. So here, for one, you should always prepare and seek clarity that judges your emotional intelligence. For the next question, you should assert calmly. That is a life skill. I don't know how many of you have heard about assertiveness as life skill, but it is. Next is break into smaller steps. Productivity and action oriented, obviously something has to be like that only. If you're not producing anything, if your actions are not getting anything to you, it's a waste of time and of the efforts. Next is clarify at the right time, because you are a good communicator. You're reflecting that you are a good communicator. You express with reasoning. There should be critical thinking, there should be communication that should be involved in such questions, such situations, such scenarios in life. You should pause and process because you have to have the emotional regulation. You offer alternative and you delay. The boundary setting and empathy is involved here. The logic, intuition, balance, decision making is involved. For ninth, it should be observe and engage. That actually checks your social awareness. Acknowledge and correct. The accountability is set in here. So you should see clarity. That clearly means the problem solving is involved. Plan and prioritize. That means the time and stress management should be taken care of. Support and feedback in the next. Empathy and leadership is checked. Express respectfully. Again, assertiveness comes to play its role. And last is balanced reflection, which reflects that you are aware of yourself. So all the answers, they obviously reflect somewhere what your true self is. So here we jump on to the next. I'll just tell you a short story that you might have heard in grade 1 or 2. And probably at that time, you might not have even realized that it actually had certain life skills to teach us because we were too young, we could not understand. But the generations coming up, they are more smart, no? So, okay, we talk about this story. Let me tell you the story of a monkey and a crocodile, and I am sure you might have heard it earlier. It says that there was a monkey once who lived nearby a peaceful river on a tree, and there were other trees also, and the trees were full of fruits. So that monkey would relish fruits every now and then and would fill his stomach. One day, a crocodile came up and said that he was very, very hungry and wanted to eat something. Now, the monkey, the kind hearted monkey, offered some of his fruits to him. The crocodile became friends with Monkey because of his kind gesture. Every now and then he would come over there to get the fruits from him, and they would share and they would eat together. So now they were very good friends. One day, a packet of fruits was given by the monkey to the crocodile for his wife as well. Now the crocodile went back, gave the fruit packet to the wife. The wife ate the fruits, and she, being a greedy lady, she said, "Oh my God, the fruits are really yummy." Now, if the fruits are so yummy, just imagine how yummy the heart of the monkey would be. The monkey who has been eating these fruits for so long now. So why not to eat the heart of that monkey? Now the crocodile is shocked. Why? Because he always considered monkey as his friend. He just could not think of killing the monkey. But the wife obviously had pressurized the crocodile so much that he was forced to go back to the monkey, and he tells him that my wife is so impressed and she wants that you should be invited on dinner to our place. So the monkey, because he was a good friend of crocodile, he readily accepts the invitation, jumps onto the back of the crocodile, and they swim together. On the way back, the crocodile, who was a bit guilt-ridden also, he said that he actually spilled the beans, and he told the monkey that, you know what, I'm really sorry, because then I would not get any opportunity to say a sorry, to apologize to you, because I have ditched you actually. Though I tried to be a good friend, I could not be because my wife wants to eat your heart, and that's why I'm taking you back to my place. The monkey was equally shocked because he had not expected this in return of his kindness and friendship. Now, immediately the monkey says, "Oh, my dear friend, you should have told me this earlier. I could have given my life for you. But now my heart, it's on the tree only. I have left it there. You should have told me that your wife wanted to eat my heart. I should have carried it along. Now you would have to take me back to the tree because there is my heart. I would have to get it back." So now they both go back to the tree, and immediately the monkey jumps back and he waves a goodbye to the crocodile. He tells him that it was a like cheating on his part and he would never trust him anymore. He tells him that the heart is always carried within us and it cannot be left anywhere. So the moral of the story, obviously, never trust anyone like that. Okay, but there is more to this story. The life skills that we learn from this story. First, the monkey took a very quick decision. He thought critically. That is a life skill. Thinking critically in situations of adversity is something that actually defines our true character. It is said that adversity defines the true character of a human being. So here, now it's only a monkey that we have been talking about. And imagine, we are human beings. We are expected to do much better. Here, the monkey critically thought about the situation and immediately came to a solution also. So problem solving is another critical thinking skill, life skill that we need to ponder over. Then effective communication. He did not start an argument with the crocodile stating that you have cheated me or you have never been a good friend or something like that. But he communicated that effectively that the crocodile was convinced to take him back. The trust, though, was broken, yet the things did happen in a positive way for the monkey. So, positive thinking, another life skill. Now, we have heard this story, but we never have perceived the stories or the things that we have learned so far in such a way. Everything that happens with us in life teaches us a lesson. They all teach a moral to us. Okay, and we need to just grab it. Now, drifting from the problems to designing of life is what the life skills do to us. Let me here give you another example. We all have been to circus, no? We have been to circus. We have seen the animals performing different acts over there. So many animals, elephant being one of them. Now, when the elephant is very young, it's a baby elephant, the human beings, they tie them with wooden stakes, a big chain and a little wooden stake. Now the little baby elephant tries to pull that chain, tries to seek for the liberty, but fails miserably. And eventually, probably 5 years, 10 years later, when he's strong and he has much power, he can easily break open those chains. He's not trying anymore. Why? Because now he's confined. He's confined and limited by his own thoughts. He's not bound by reality anymore, but he is being governed psychologically now because of his self-image that he has created over the years. Now he is of the opinion that though I would put my best efforts into breaking this chain, I will never be able to. Imagine a big elephant tied to a small wooden stake. Why? Because now it is trapped mentally. That's exactly what we have done to our lives. Our daily routines have fixed us so much that though we want to break open the chains, we are unable to. We have restricted and confined ourselves to our daily rituals, and we are not trying, we are not experimenting with the new things at all. We are not ready to. We have been talking only ill and evil, and we rarely talk positive. We always tell, this I cannot do probably. Probably I'm struggling a lot. And what are we doing? Please remember that the words, the language, they shape the reality for us. If we are not surrounding ourselves with positivity, definitely we are attracting the negativity towards us. So we need to channelize our energy. That too is a life skill, because if you do not know how to be self-aware, you will never be able to change the circumstances and the situations around you. You need to acknowledge and appreciate your presence first of all. You should be working upon your mental health first of all. Remember, when we take a flight, the air hostess, when she's giving us the instructions, the first instruction she gives us that when in case turbulence you seek help, you should put your mask first and then you should help others. It is exactly the same in life. If we want that we should excel in life, we should save ourselves first and then we should be ready for others. Okay. Now let me give you a situation. Suppose you all of a sudden get up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you just consider that you have slept enough and you are not able to get back to the bed again, and you just sit by the side of the window, or you probably feel like just looking at the fan. You just stare at the fan and you start thinking, and then you do not realize that there comes a moment when you start overthinking. And what do you think? Are you who you wanted to be always? Are you doing enough? Because usually we are not happy and we are not satisfied. We want more from our lives. We have been putting so many efforts into our life. We have been doing a lot than was expected. Still, you might have seen people putting complaints, raising complaints. They must be telling you you're not doing enough. Probably you should have done this better, or probably you should have put more efforts into this because there is something that is missing. Now, what are we doing to ourselves? Where are we heading to? What are we doing to our lives? We have been just in a trap of this life, and we are struggling each day to make it fruitful, to make it productive. But sorry to state that we are becoming less productive every day because we are not happy within, because we are in isolation. We are on so many social networking platforms. We have several friends online, but how many are there by your side when you need them the most? You hardly find one or two sitting by your side, consoling you for what life has done to you. And that's what we are heading to. Very soon, probably those one or two friends would get married, or they would get settled in their own lives, or they would also get busy as you are, and they would also forget you forever. Then you would be with yourself, and you would have to take care of your own emotions. So self-awareness is very, very, very important here. Now, that's what I've been talking about, that life skills are the silent rescuers. They steady you in chaos and lead you back to joy. But for that, you should know the life skills thoroughly. Now, these are the life skills that you can see on screen: focus, responsibility, independence, empathy, communication, curiosity, resilience, reflectiveness. But obviously, sorry to say, we do not have enough time that I should be diving deep into discussion of all these. But yes, trust me, I'm going to pick many out of these. Okay. Now, the first that I was talking about, awakening self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Now, we all have either read or heard or seen on TV Mahabharata. And we have always been impressed by the character of Sri Krishna and Arjun, the bond that connected them both. Now, the picture here tells us that obviously the episode of Gita that is being given by Sri Krishna to Arjun. What is it all about? It is nothing less than self-awareness. We know very well that Arjuna was a great warrior. Obviously, he had no worries to get into that battlefield, but he had inner conflict. He could see his own relatives on the other side of the battlefield. He just could not go further and kill them all. And that was his conflict, the emotional conflict within him. Sri Krishna did not give him the weapons. He rather resolved the conflict within him. He helped him to understand what was important at that time. He told the importance of karma at that time. He helped him resolve that conflict within. And then Arjuna could find himself stand sturdy, and he was ready to fight the battle because it was for the righteousness. That's exactly what is expected of all of us. God wants that we should we should stick to our karma. And whatever our karma are, the next birth, it is said, they are going to be our luck. That's how the cycle goes on. If there is any next birth, it is said that it is going to work like that for us. So we should work meticulously on our karma. And when you would be at peace with yourself, trust me, your karmas would be better. If you are not at peace with yourself, if you are into emotional conflict with yourself, you are not at peace, you would definitely not be able to give your best to anything that you have been into. So that rest, that emotional peace is utmost important. Let us move to the next. Effective communication. Now, communication is not just talking to someone. It is a complete process. It is that you are reaching the other person the exact way you wanted always to. If you're not able to communicate what you always wanted to, or what you have in your mind, that would actually give rise to a conflict. which we never want to get into. So effective communication is when you reach the other person just the right way and you are able to resolve whatever the communication has to be. Okay, now it is that you have to be confident in what you have been thinking about, and you should be able to live up to your terms as well. So we need to get into working on the communication skills. Effective communication happens when both are in agreement with each other. So here we come to the art of deep listening also, because we have been in this hustle and bustle of life, in this humdrum of life. We have forgotten that the art of listening is very, very important. And here we come to know about a few models like the iceberg model. We have seen how an iceberg looks like. Only 10% of it is visible, 90% of it is deep within the ocean. So here it's just the 10% of the words that we use in communication that are effective. It said almost 93% of the communication happens through body language. So it's not only the words that help you to communicate. You should know how to present yourself also. You should work upon your body language also. The way you conduct yourself is another very important thing in communication. Then listening for understanding. How many of us actually listen to understand? We listen to react. And that's what we all have been doing. That's what the contemporary world people have been doing. We do not listen to understand. We do not want to get to know the viewpoint of the other. We just are ready to react immediately. Then there is a looping technique. We do not give advice. We actually are ready to not take up the advice, but to give advice. So that is a loop wherein we are all stuck. We should understand that instead of giving advice, we should take the things healthily upon us first, and then we should reach the others. Then the goal is earn the word exactly. Now, this is again very, very important, and it's quite tough also to work on it. When you are listening to somebody and you give an affirmation, you say, exactly, that's my point. You are actually getting into a healthy communication because you are telling the other person that you trust the other person completely. What the other person is trying to say, you are convinced and you give a word exactly. So here a trust is built. Right? And even if you are not agreeing with that person, you can very calmly and very confidently express yourself. You can tell that though you are right, but there is another way to look at this particular situation. I'm not saying that you should give exactly to all the situations where you are put in, but yes, even if you are in disagreement, there is a way to present yourself. So instead of reacting, we can respond back. The next important thing that we are going to talk about is problem solving. Now, problems are part and parcel of life. Stress is inevitable. You just cannot avoid it. It has to be in our lives. It has become actually, this chaos has become a part of our lives, no? We have been talking about all the things around. We say we have been meditating. We just want to escape this world. We practice hobbies and whatnot. But don't you think even if to go for a class of meditation, you need to give time to yourself, you again struggle to get that time. मतलब meditate करने के लिए भी हमें जो time निकालना है उसके लिए भी हम struggle कर रहे हैं. So that again is a stress factor that I have to somehow eke out that 30 minutes for myself because I have to rush for that class because I have already paid for it. So now it has become a compulsion to join that class, right? So again, we come back to the things that somewhere we want to relieve ourselves from the problems, but again we are getting into the problems only. We are making, this is a kind of loop and we need to step out of that loop. This is a vicious circle and we all are trying to get out of it. Like there is a beautiful text also in class 12 that we read. The world is like a rat trap. And yes, exactly, all the joys, the happiness, what we think are good for us, they're the attractive things towards the healthy life, they are actually the traps, they are actually the baits, and they keep us trapped within the world's rat trap. So here when we come to the problem solving, we actually think about the problem, we have to analyze the problem. See, the problem has come. Now you would have to fight with it. You just cannot cry over the problem, and you cannot expect somebody to come in and step in your shoes and think about what you have to do. You, at times, there are certain situations where you are left alone with your problems. For that point of time, you should be ready. And so you would have to think, you would have to analyze how we should be solving this problem. And you would have to actually jot down what possible solutions you could have. Analyze the solutions also, because then only you would be able to get to the right solution, which is quite feasible as well. Not all the solutions are feasible. You would have to think and analyze all the options. You would have to weigh them for their feasibility. And then only you would be able to get to a solution which is genuinely acceptable to all of us, right? And you should be focused always. Okay. It should be a laser focus. It should not be like these days, what we experience are that we all are behaving like disco lights. Our focus is like a disco light. It's everywhere, right? But the focus has to be like a laser light, like a beam of laser. We should be just focusing on what is our priority. And that is why a priority list has to be set by all of us. If a task is not going to take more than 2 minutes, please do not procrastinate it. Finish it immediately, because the decisions also are not to be. That takes me to the next thing, which is decision making. Decisions, when you're deciding, when you are weighing the options and you are thinking that what should be the optimum solution to this problem, you should not actually take the decisions in a hush hush. You should always think carefully, because you have to take a decision that you should not be regretting later. At times in life, we come across such in situations where we quickly take a decision and then later we regret, oh, I should have reacted like that, or I should have responded like that, or probably this was the better answer to that question. Oh God, why did I not say this? Okay, so these are the reactions that we give later. Why? Because we have not thought well of the problem. Probably we have not weighed the options properly, the solutions properly. So the way to go forward is that you should always brainstorm, think wisely, and then reach to the root of the problem. Think of all the causes and the effects that it could have. Do the SWOT analysis if necessary. What is SWOT analysis? I'm sure you all know. It's weighing the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. And then rework till you acquire the desired result, because that result is definitely going to have an impact on what you have been thinking of. Okay. Now imagine something. You get up in the morning and you find that you have been credited with 86,400 rupees in your account. Okay. And in the message, it is clearly stated that you cannot spend this tomorrow. It cannot be carried forward. The amount has to be spent today itself before you sleep. Okay. So how would you use this money? Obviously, you would think carefully, you would plan. What is the most important thing that I would want to buy for myself? You would immediately get that thing for yourself, and then you would plan the rest of the things also. You would make a priority list. This is important, this is important. Oh, I have been yearning for money to buy this for so long now because I have been credited with this, I have to go for this. This is exactly what happens with time. We every morning when get up, we are credited with 86,400 seconds in our lives account. And we must think wisely, we must plan wisely how we are going to spend, because these seconds cannot be taken to the next day. The account does not allow the overdraft or the rollover even. Whatever is it, it has to be used today only. So as the money is being very carefully utilized, similarly, every day has to be appreciated. We should be grateful. Every morning when we open our eyes, we should be full of gratitude, and we should think wisely how we are going to spend our time, because it is non-renewable. What has been taken away from us. It will never be granted to us. We will have surely more seconds the next day, but what is gone forever. So we have to be effective. We have to make sure that we reclaim the time that God has provided us with. Then again, I have just talked about the irony of time, that it is irreplaceable asset. It is more valuable than money even, especially in today's fast-paced world where we are always into competition. We are just rushing and passing our lives. We do not even, if I ask you to recall your past 1 month, would you be able to think of each and every day? No. We have just been living. We have not been living actually. I hope the difference is clear. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time in your life on your own. And that is why the task classification is very, very important. Please pick up the first, what is urgent and important. You should immediately pick up the tasks that are not only urgent, but are important as well. Next, delegate the tasks that are urgent but not very important. They can be taken care of by any other also. Next is not urgent but is important. So you can schedule them in your calendar because they're not urgent. They can be scheduled so that you get a little time for yourself as well. Life is to be lived. It's not just to be passed. So you can always put up the things that are not very urgent for the next day. Okay, you should have good valuable time for your family as well, for your own self as well. They are the most precious in your lives. So we should not forgo the relationships that we are into. The next is not important, not urgent. Obviously, delete those tasks from your taskbar because you have not to do them ever. Why to waste your time on such things which are neither important nor very urgent? Okay. Now that takes me to the next thing, which is empathy. Now, let me tell you a short story. Once upon a time, in a tribe, I'm just talking about a tribe because they're also the people, they pass on their values to their younger ones. So here, a child was told a story by the grandparent, and the grandparent said, "You know what? There are two wolves who are fighting in my heart." And the little child says, "Oh, my dear grandfather, really? And what are these two wolves?" And the grandfather says, "One is so violent, one is it's so angry and vengeful, but the other is so loving, so compassionate, so caring, and so kind." And the child is now inquisitive and asks, "Which wolf is going to win, Grandpa?" And the grandfather very compassionately says, "The one that I would feed would win." Now, that clearly means that the one that you feed is going to win in your hearts also. If you feed in your heart revenge, being violent, or you feed your heart with negative emotions, obviously it is going to take over you. But if you feed yourself, if you feed your heart with love, compassion, care, it is going to take you way more ahead of others, because not everybody here is learning life skills. Not, and even if, trust me, if even if the people are aware, see, I'm not telling you anything which you do not know. You all have heard what time management is, what empathy is, what compassion is, what self-awareness is. We all are living in an era which has information explosion. So there is nothing that is new to you. It's just that I am here to give you a reminder that what you know, you have not been practicing enough. So now is the time that we should start practicing, and we should value our lives, because we are always threatened with death. Again, we have been hearing the news of wars on television. So we are always threatened with death. But for the moments that we are living, are we actually living? No, because we are not practicing those life skills that we already know. So I'm here not to give a lecture or something like that. I'm just here to remind you that you should be kind, a little kinder to yourself. So that brings us back to this slide. Now, we all have heard what sympathy is, what empathy is, what compassion is, but how it looks like, let me show it to you. Sympathy is when you see somebody in pain, and you just see somebody in pain and you create a distance. It's distanced and you are not getting into, and you are not doing anything about it. You're just looking at that person. Empathy is when you see somebody in pain, and you show your concern also. You understand the pain and you tell them that, oh, I understand, but then again, you're not living that up to the extent that the other person is living. So you're a bit into, but you are not completely into. What is compassion? Compassion is that now you understand the situation completely and you have got into the suffering of the other person and you are trying to soothe him. You are trying to help the person. Now that is exactly what is needed in the hour. We all know what has been happening. I'm not quoting any example from the newspaper right now, but we know that the people are not compassionate enough. If there is something happening on the road, the people would prefer recording it than helping the people out. So this is something what is not acceptable at all from human beings, at least. This makes us feel as if we are not part of this ecosystem anymore. So we should be compassionate, we should be connected, and whatever our action is, it should be result oriented. We should be able to help others. Next is assertiveness. I talked about assertiveness in the beginning of the session also. Assertiveness is expressing oneself openly and honestly. And that necessarily does not mean that you have to shout or you have to raise your voice, so that you should be able to forcibly tell others and assert yourself upon others. It can be positive and confident as well. Why? Because when you know your strength, when you know your worth, you obviously are able to acknowledge the presence of others and you are able to get them to hear you out. The people pay attention to your words. And that brings me to a very important word, no. We have been thinking that when we say a no, it's very rude. We should not say no. We should rather say yes, because that shows that we are kind, we are cooperative, and we are likable. But we are not here in this short life to impress everybody. We have to respect our own being as well. And that is why, if you have valid reason, if you think that my no is saving my self image, if you think it is for my well being, you should go for it. But it should be very kind, very polite, very assertive no that actually changes the complete narration of your conversation. So to be assertive is to communicate your thoughts very thoughtfully, wherein you are clear with your things and you're just getting to the other person, telling that it's not aggression, it's not diminishing either of ourselves, it's just that with respect, I want to put my point forth that I'm quite unwilling to continue with this, or probably it's not a rejection, it's just that I'm not much comfortable doing this. So in work place, there are certain situations where we are told, where we are given a task by our manager or by the principal that you have to do this, but you do not feel that that task is meant for you, or you are quite uncomfortable because that does not align with your personal and professional goals, because you think that it is going to disturb the peace of your mind, or probably you are not going to have a very positive impact of it on you, or you would be under stress. You can simply, with your perception, go to your senior and tell them that probably I'm not very comfortable doing this. Probably the next time I'll work on my skills and I'll get back to this task the next time positively. So an honest no is not to be taken as a guilt. It's not that you are disappointing others. It is just that you are defining your boundaries because you respect yourself as well. You respect your own image as well. You respect your presence as well. Okay. So next is stress. Okay. So stress, I stressed upon stressed in the beginning of the session as well. Now, how stress looks like, we cannot avoid stress, right? We know that there is stress for everything that we are doing. Stress of getting up early in the morning, stress of doing the household, stress of moving out for work, stress at the workplace, stress of coming back again, getting into the work, stress of managing and handling your own emotions, stress of handling the emotions of the people around you because they too affect you positively or negatively. So the 21st century is a stressful era. Okay, there is stress of not keeping up with social media probably. Now, like, there are instances wherein I feel stressed because I do not know the dance moves that my friends are showcasing in an event. Why? Because probably I've not heard that song, or probably I've not seen that song, and I'm under stress how to cope up with this situation now. So I step back and I stop dancing. So this is all, like, see, there are so many things that actually bring stress into our lives. So
Jasmine ji.
this, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can we have some views from the participants also when they feel stressed out, how they relieve
Yes,
their
why not?
stress? Yeah. Anybody wants to take initiative?
Yes,
Anybody
Purvi
ma'am.
wants
ji,
to share what stress is for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Kausalya
Yes,
ji,
ma'am.
yeah, Ruchi ji, and
Kausalya here. Yes,
anyone.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how to manage a stress when multiple tasks is assigned at the same time? Like, there will be so much of work where everything need to be prioritized and to be submitted at the with a stipulated deadline. How to handle it without getting uh, depressed
Or
with the
Okay.
stressed out.
deadline?
Or stressed out.
Yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am, I have already covered this in time management. I told that what is urgent and important has to be prioritized first. Now, everything cannot be urgent as well as important. There must be one factor that must be associated along. Either it would be urgent or it is important. And if it is both, then you have to prioritize it first. Next, I will get back to that slide so that I'm again clearing it. So, something which is urgent and important must be taken as a priority, first of all. Now, that obviously you are the best decision maker. You can only tell what is urgent and important both. Next is what is urgent and not very important. That can be delegated, that can be given to anybody else also. But then, when what is not urgent but is important can be scheduled, can be put up for the next day, or probably for a later hour or something. When you have already done something which was urgent and important, you yourself can take up that task. And what is not important and not urgent can be just deleted from your task list. So, this is how, if you start managing your time like that, I'm sure we need practice. That's exactly what I said, that life skills need to be practiced. We have all come across all these things. We have been listening a lot about life skills. Life skills is nothing new to us. That's what I started with. So this is something which we need to practice more. Now, with practice only, we would understand what is urgent and important, and we should do it and take the task in priority, so that we should not be stressed. If you want to manage your stresses, again, it is something which has to be in our lives. I don't know how many of you have heard about eustress. Eustress is positive stress. If you do not have stress in your life, probably you would not be able to get ahead in your life as well. Eustress is a positive stress that pushes you towards your goals. And that's equally important in life. You should know how to differentiate between distress and eustress. Distress is something that gives you depression, that brings you down, that always make sure that you are too heavy, you are too burdened, that you should not move forth in life. But eustress is something that pushes you towards your goal. If you would just want to sleep in your bed peacefully and you would not want to leave it at any cost, you would never grow in life. So you should have to have a balance between the two. That's what I was going to stress upon, that when viewed as a helpful resource, eustress is something that changes you. Yes, ma'am, please tell.
One more thing, ma'am. Like, yeah, I always, like, ma'am, if I go for the bed, I'm giving my full list. Uh, I'm speaking about my work, okay? I'm giving my full list, but then too, when I go for the bed, I always feel dissatisfied, that I feel like that I'm not fit for something else. Why that
Ma'am,
feelings I'm getting on each and every day basis, ma'am? Like, whenever I sit and self-analyze myself before I go for the bed.
Ma'am, I started my webinar with that only. I even showed an
Yes.
image that at times we get up and we are always stressing ourselves with the fact that probably though I have been doing a lot, I still could not accomplish this or that. And
Mm.
that feeling would be there till the last day of our lives, ma'am. We would never be satisfied with ourselves. Why? Because the it's not only us that we feel stressed or overwhelmed or overburdened. the people around us also make us feel that we have not done enough. And for
Thank you,
that,
ma'am. Thank you.
that is the reason why, ma'am, we should appreciate our own presence first of all. We should start acknowledging that we too are human beings and we need to live our lives. We would have to take time for ourselves out and we would have to fight for that time, ma'am. If we are not acknowledging our presence, and from day rise to the day end, if we are just into the things and we are not acknowledging our own presence, we would just finish our lives, ma'am. And the last day, when we would be on our deathbed, we would be so dissatisfied the way we are today. Probably we would be on the last day as well. And then we would think we would be able to get back to the days and we would just think, what have I done to my life? I could not make others happy. And what have I
The
done for
problem,
myself?
Jasmine
Even
ji,
I'm also not happy.
I
Yes.
feel problem is this only. We are trying to make everybody happy.
Yes, ma'am.
The expectations from others are so much na, and we are stressed out not because of us, because of others' expectation from us.
Exactly, ma'am. And the irony of the situation is that you can never make others
Yes,
happy.
that's not possible.
You
That's
will
not
never be.
possible.
आपने एक काम कर दिया तो दूसरा बोलेगा
आप
ऐसे
100
क्यों
काम
नहीं
कर
किया,
देंगे
ऐसे क्यों
और जो
किया.
एक नहीं करेंगे
Exactly.
ना, they will pinpoint that only. Yeah, you have
Yes,
not
ma'am.
done this, that one.
And that brings me to a very brilliant example here. Once a teacher was writing on the board the table of two. So she started writing 2 1s are 2, 2 2s
Yeah.
are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are. She wrote till 2 8s are 16. Now instead of writing 2 9s are 18, she wrote 21. And the
Intentionally
children
she wrote,
started
yeah,
laughing.
yeah.
Yes, and the
Yeah.
children started laughing. And when she asked what's wrong, the children said, "Oh, ma'am, you have written the wrong table on the board." Now she made 8 correct entries and just
Nobody
one
saw,
wrong
nobody
entry.
sees that, yeah.
Yes, and nobody acknowledged those 8 correct entries on the board, but that
That's
one
the,
incorrect was pinpointed. So it's very difficult to meet the expectations of everybody around you.
yes,
We
and that's not
should
possible also. That's not
That's
possible
not
also.
possible. That's quite impossible. And especially, ma'am, if you're talking about your workplace, forget it. You can never keep them happy. And they have your replacement already ready with them. You quit today and they will get you replaced tomorrow. Even in your family life, they would adjust. But when would you live your life is the question. And that is why self awareness is very important. What do I want for myself? I have come over here to live my life. There are certain expectations from myself. When I am going to fulfill those expectations in this busy life, I've forgotten myself only. So you would have to respect your own presence first of all. I tell my people whenever I am giving lectures like that, whenever I'm taking the workshops like that, I usually tell the people that if you are not loving yourself, you fake when you tell the people that you love them. When you're telling somebody, I love you, you are telling a lie if you're not loving yourself. Why? Because if you are not loving the body that you are residing in, if you're not acknowledging the body that you have to live in and you have been living in, you definitely cannot love the other one's body, or you cannot love the other soul until and unless you start loving your own soul. That would be lying to that person, that would be lying to yourself also. So start respecting yourself. The moment you start respecting yourself, you would understand that the stress, the distress has actually transformed into eustress. Now you would start doing what you think is important for your growth, and you would stop when you would understand that now it is hurting my image, or probably it's going too far. Now my enthusiasm, my health is getting affected. You would stop doing that. Why? Because you have started acknowledging your own worth. That is very, very important. That's why the webinar was started with self-awareness only, because all these are dependent only on this factor that you should respect and love your own self first of all. Then only you can keep people around you happy. I hope
Thank
it's
you so
answered,
much,
ma'am.
Shaleji,
ma'am.
I hope you got the answer.
Yes, I got so much of insights from your end, and I actually I have taken a decision, so I feel that it's right for me. I'm in the right path. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, ma'am. And please start prioritizing yourself. The tasks can be done, but your life is worth. So you should start respecting your own presence, your own worth, first of all. Then only you would be able to be true to the people around you. So that's very, very important.
People are not happy from the
I'm
God.
already on
आपसे
track,
कैसे
ma'am.
पता
Thank
चलेंगे
you.
from
That's great.
from
All the best to
where?
you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes,
People are
ma'am.
not happy from God. So don't expect them to be happy from you.
Ma'am, since you picked this up, I would
Correct.
like to mention that even the gods, if we talk about God, even they were not free from the stress of life when they came in human form. Even Sri Ram had to go on an exile for 14 years.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
being
that is
he was
there.
the
वो तो-
king of the kingdom.
Yes.
He was supposed to be, he was one of the princes, but then again he had to go on an exile. So even when in
He
human
was
form,
God
the
himself,
God,
incarnation. Yeah, that is there.
they too were not free from the stress or from the kind of life that they were living. So we are just common human beings, so we
Yeah.
cannot live a stress free life. What we can do the best is that we can transform the distress to eustress. If you're getting some work from school and you think that okay, till this point of time or till this level I can manage and I know that it is important for my growth, please go ahead with it. But when it starts hurting your own image, when it starts getting you fatigued, please stop there and define your limits, define the boundaries, that it is enough for me. Probably I'll start again tomorrow, but I need time for this. You would have to reset the deadlines. I understand you
It
get
is
the
very
deadlines, but
important. Yeah.
it is very
To
logical
define your
as well,
limits.
ma'am.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Please define the deadlines. If you are told to do a particular task in 5 hours or 6 hours and you know that it is going to strain me completely, please tell very logically. And that's why, again, I talked about saying the importance of word no. I talked about being assertive. How positively you put yourself forward with a word no is not always negative. It can be taken up
Yes.
positively as well if you are actually uh, promoting it or you are putting it in a very positive manner. So you just need to go to your senior and just tell them that it's not practically feasible. Probably I think I should need more time and I would be able to finish this by tomorrow or day after. And I am guaranteeing you that it is going to be worth. You would have to give them an assurance along that the work would not be reviewed after that, because what I will give you would be the best from my side. That assurance is a must. Obviously जल्दी में काम करके देंगे तो कुछ गड़बड़ कर देंगे, but if you give an assurance that after 2 days when I submit my work it would be worth, obviously they would trust you. So that trust has to be built.
Okay. Okay. Thank
I
you,
hope
ma'am.
it's clear. Anybody else who would want to share their stress with us or probably some questions?
Yes, ma'am.
One scenario
Ma'am,
from my end.
Okay, yes, Ashita.
So, it is a very recent scenario that happened with me. So, since I am also teaching the same subject, so it's like English along with business studies that I'm teaching to the
Okay.
senior children. And it is like I joined them in the middle of the session.
Okay.
And then I was stressed that how will I complete the syllabus? But then I prioritized myself. I analyzed their situation that पूरा तो नहीं कर पाएंगे वो. So I
Okay.
prioritized the syllabus for them and then I covered it. And now I got the result, which is in the pre-boards, they scored 80%. And they
That's
are
great.
those children who have had a very big broken education gap.
Okay.
So they resumed their education in a very proper manner in a proper CBSE schools after COVID.
Wonderful. So
So
that structured plan is very, very important.
very, very
That what
important.
Ashita
Yes.
is talking about, that if we have a structured plan and we go with that, obviously that is creating, that is actually transforming the distress into eustress. So now she's happy with the result. So
Yes.
because the result, the outcome is good, so now it is eustress, it's not distress anymore, right?
Right.
Somebody
Wonderful.
was asking some
Congratulations.
question.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. I just wanted to share, my principal has called me and asked me to submit a data which I need to ask from my academic coordinator. So when I ask them to complete that task, because that is very important, and I'm asking them to submit the task on time, they are not able to do it on time because they have been packed with some other things. because they have been packed with so many things around them, so they are not able to give me. So one side, I'm not able to finish my task on time because of the delay, and I cannot force them to. So this situation makes me very stressed. How can I balance this?
Ma'am, see, because it is not dependent upon you, because your work is to be done by others, what you can do is you can sit with them. Like even at school, I am at a senior position, and the same is my task, that when I have to submit it to the HM or vice principal, I need to get the work done from my department. And at times they come up with their own challenges, that we have to check the sheets, we have so many other things to do. So probably this cannot be done right now. Now, what do? I initiate the task for them. It's usually the same way that I go about. I initiate the task for them. I make them sit with me, and I tell them that I would not take more than 20 to 30 minutes of yours. I make them sit with me. I initiate the task. I share it with everybody. And then I tell that it's not one's task. It's a team's work. Now we all have to contribute into it. So they all put their things into it. Whatever the submissions have to be given, they all put it into one folder or something, and then I align the things together. That's how I go about. And I have noticed that this has brought a change in my team collaboration also, because now they're happy working. They know that we are not taking home this work back at home as a burden or a stress. We get to sit together and we are completing it. So now they're collaborating more. So I would suggest that you start initiating the things. If they're not able to get time separately out for the particular task, you tell them that there is a brief meeting. We need to sit together and make sure that you have shared that folder or that file with them, and ask them to collaborate. And you would see that the result would come out, and it would be brilliant, because now all are working. Even your challenges would be half sorted there. Why? Because probably somebody would say that I did not like this question, or I did not like we are making the question papers like that only. So somebody says, oh, this is not up to the level. So immediately the other one suggests, okay, I have a question that can be replaced. Immediately we do that. So you would be amazed to know that we are even able to prepare the question papers for pre-boards, even the 3 hours paper, in 30 minutes or 40 minutes at the max. And it is error free. So if as a team leader, you start initiating the things, and you tell them that you are a part of the team. You are not their boss. You are not their senior who is talking to them and forcing the deadlines upon them, because obviously they too know that it's just a deadline that can be pushed very easily. Even if they would not be very busy, trust me, if once they have pushed the deadline and they are into this habit, they would do it for every other task. So what you have to do is you have to set the limits here. So when you sit with them and you tell them that we have to complete this today only, and I want 30 minutes or 40 minutes of yours, and this is how I have initiated. I'm sitting with you only. They understand and they look up to you, not as a boss, but a leader, as a teammate only. And when they change the perception that you are one of them only, you're contributing along, they would start respecting your presence, and they would understand, they would start obeying you. Even when you would not be present, they would respect your orders. Try
Thank
this.
you, ma'am. Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
this helps, because this has helped me in my scenario. It has helped me numerous times. Now I do not sit with them always. I keep doing my work, but I make them sit together and they wait for me. And when I usually join them, they tell me that the task is done, ma'am. So it has now come to this, but I have given time for that, ma'am. It was not a day's result. I have given a year to them. I started with them like that, and slowly and steadily we have reached to a point where we are genuinely a very strong team who are ready to support each other. So I just wish
Thank
that
you
this
so
works for
much,
you
ma'am.
as well. Most welcome, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody
Thank you.
else
Thank
who
you.
has
Thank
any query?
Ma'am,
Anyone who wants to
good
share?
evening,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Good
Saroj
evening,
here.
ma'am. Yes,
I'm so
ma'am.
sorry, ma'am. I joined very late. So will I
Uh-oh.
be getting the slides or the PDF of the same which
Yeah,
I missed
Sarojji,
from?
you will be getting the recording in the group. No worries. You will be
Thank you
getting.
so much, ma'am. I'm extremely sorry for that. There was an emergency in the family.
No, we always share
Oh,
the recording of the webinar in the group. Not a problem. It's
Thank you,
okay.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
hope the
Jasmine
things
ji.
are good at your end, ma'am. Saroj, ma'am.
Yeah,
You
there was
said there was a
actually
family.
the mediclaim officer, no, he suddenly he came and we had to talk to him.
Okay.
So my husband is a kidney patient, so because of that
Oh,
I had to attend that.
Okay. May he get well soon, ma'am.
He is a transplant
Our best
patient. Now the
wishes.
kidney is fine. So
Okay, that's good.
thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. Anybody else who would want to share something? See, we all are working, and I believe that we all have our own set of challenges as well. So, anyone, I would love
Ma'am,
to
may
hear.
I?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, as you told that we are working, so one challenge we always face as a working woman that if we are going to satisfy the people when we are working at our workplace, then we will unsatisfy someone at our home also. So to balance this, I always feel something stressful. So can you guide me?
Yes, ma'am. And trust me, Purvi ma'am, you will never be able to get a balance between the two. No
Yes,
matter
ma'am.
how hard you work, you will never be able to satisfy the people at home and at your workplace. You would be struggling till the end. So stop doing that. Stop pleasing people. This is just one life that you have got, and it is not to please everybody around. There are challenges. Please understand that there has to be a boundary. You can make a person happy till a limit. अगर दूसरा खुश रहना ही नहीं चाहता तो वो कहीं ना कहीं कमी निकाल ही देगा. So it's completely up to you, your happiness, ma'am, because it's very practical that you cannot satisfy each and every person whom you are in touch with, whom you are in contact with. You would have to set limits, you would have to define your limits. Please don't stress yourself to that extent that your life itself seems a burden. Yesterday only, I had a CBSE workshop, and we had some 100 participants in that workshop attending the same. And you would not believe, ma'am, exactly the same question was put up there also. So it's not your problem, it's problem of each one of us. We all are struggling, and trust me, it's not only that the women are suffering with this problem. Even men, if we have men over here, they would also agree that they too are trying their level best to maintain a balance between the two places. When they are at work, they're too stressed, they are overwhelmed with the work, and when they come back home, they have their wives expecting a lot from them, their children expecting a lot from them, and probably somewhere they too are failing. So nobody actually is able to achieve 100 on 100. We all have got just one life only, ma'am, and we are learning with each experience. We are growing with each experience. It would take time, and had we been living like it would have been our third or fourth life, and we could just recollect from the previous past lives, we would have been better human beings. But ironically, because this is the first one that we are living, we are still learning with each and every experience that we get from life. So please stop stressing yourself, and trust me, this is with all of us. So just try to give your best at your work when you are there, and at your home when you are there. There is a word that is known as mindfulness. It is very important to be mindful. Being mindful means living in the present. Where you are right now, you should be there completely. When you are at your workplace, please forget your home. Please do not think about or overstrain yourself thinking about your home कि घर पर क्या हो रहा होगा, मैं ये नहीं करके गई थी, कैसे चल रहा होगा सब कुछ. Forget everything. Just focus at your work, and trust me, you would see that you are more productive. You are more result oriented because you are doing what your mind is at presently. And when at home, please stop stressing yourself about the workplace. Just go tomorrow and manage the things there the next day. When you are at home, please be with your children when you are with them. Do not just be present physically, be with them with all your being. When you are cooking, enjoy cooking to the fullest. Make sure that you're giving your best to that. So that's what mindfulness is all about. Whatever you are doing, whenever you are spending time with yourself, suppose you are relishing something, you are enjoying a hobby, you are just taking time out for yourself, make sure that you are completely with yourself and you're working upon your well-being at that time. And you would see the difference, ma'am. It is going to work like, it is miraculously going to work like anything. Please try this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question, ma'am. Anybody else?
we can continue with the PPT
Okay,
now,
ma'am.
Jasmine.
Sure. Okay, so stress we have already discussed now. Now, how to get out of that stress is very important question.
Ma'am, sorry
Yes,
to
ma'am.
interrupt, ma'am. In the
No
previous
problem, ma'am.
slide, the gray zone.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we discuss that, ma'am? Like, what is that gray zone is all about, ma'am? Like,
Ma'am, gray zone is your comfort level where you are actually relaxing and doing next to nothing. You are very calm. It's bluish gray. It's very calm. It's a place where you are not actually ready to give your 100% to anything. It doesn't go with us anymore because the kind of world we are living in, it's already demanding a lot from us. So it's very rare that any one of us is calm into a situation where we are bored and we have nothing to do. We are still working on ourselves to improve the things. So we should avoid that gray zone. We actually get rarely into our comfort zones and we are not ready to get out of it. It's very rare these days. The life is so overwhelming that all of us, we are either in eustress or we are in distress. It's very rare that we are calm and we are just relaxing and we are just enjoying. उसके लिए भी हमें अपने माइंड को मैम रीवायर करना पड़ता है. छुट्टियां आती है, हम अपने आप को रीवायर करते हैं कि आज अब हम घूमने जाएंगे. क्यों घूमने जाएंगे? क्योंकि हमें वहां जाकर रिलैक्स करना है. तो हम उसके लिए भी अपने माइंड को ट्रेन करते हैं कि नाउ आई एम गोइंग on a vacation because I have to relax and calm myself. So this gray zone actually is no more in our lives anymore. It is something which does not exist now. So we have not to worry about it. We are out of it already.
okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So coming to resilience, ma'am. Resilience is something which tells us to withhold ourselves in adverse situations. I told this earlier also that adversity is the true test of character, one's character. How strong you are is judged by the adversities in life. Life can never be a straight line. If it is a straight line, that clearly means that we are dead. Life has to have the ups and the downs. And trust me, then only you would be able to appreciate your life also. Because it is not the same all the time. It has happiness, it has joys, and it has some struggles also that is actually grooming you to become the best version of yourself. So this is exactly what resilience is all about, advancing despite adversities. The adversity should not come as an obstacle that has stopped you forever. It should be something that is there to test you and to make sure that you still push yourself further, that you still have the ability and you are still giving your 100% to that thing. So the goal orientation, working towards your vision, just keep your vision in your mind that if you have to reach to the heights, I have to work. If I'm not working and I'm in gray zone, I'm still in my comfort zone, I cannot expect to reach the heights because there are other people who are working day and night probably to reach those heights. So how would I excel them? I need to be exceptional if I want to be an exception, right? So we have to be proactive. We should not wait for the adversity. We should be prepared for the adversities. We all know that just now ma'am was sharing her thing that a Mediclaim person had come and visited. Now that means they had prepared themselves in advance for the adversities. And this is what all we all have done. We have the life policies, we have mediclaims. Why do we do that? Because we are not waiting for any adversity to happen, but we are well prepared in advance for that, right? So that is what planning is all about. Then adversity, both large and very small, these are all everyday challenges that come to us to test our abilities, to test our skills, how good we are at handling the situations. Every morning when you get up with a situation. At times you do not get water supply. At times you get contaminated water supply. We just had, so I could just get that example. Sometimes you find that, okay, probably you do not have the gas supply, right? So this is how the morning starts. At times there is no power supply, there is a power cut. When you reach to school, or probably you see that your vehicle has broken down, or probably the metro is late, or probably the auto has not reached on time, or probably there is traffic jam and the things that you have already planned, they have been shifted, or probably you are already under stress before you start your day. So you have to plan. You have to plan the things out. You should, instead of getting into stress or worry about the situations, be mindful and find a solution. And I'm sure you would come up with 10 numerous ways to get out of that problem. So if there is traffic, see what I do when I rush to school and I find that I'm already late for the school, I tell myself that you are supposed to be here at this moment. God wants you to be here at this moment. And trust me, that actually gives me the peace of mind. And then when I reach my workplace, I'm not stressed at all. Earlier, I used to be, oh my God, a red mark, another red mark, or something like that. But now, since I have started telling myself that God has decided that I should be at this time, at this place only, I stopped after that stopped stressing myself, and now I'm at peace with myself. I Even if I'm reaching late, I am able to manage my day very well. So this is how we rewire ourselves. We would have to rewire every now and then because we have different situations to deal with every day. So that's exactly how it works. Now, that's what I was talking about. Perceive the situation in right manner and understand your feelings that are associated with it. If it is immediate situation, please deal with it with urgency and emergency. Use your internal mechanism to deal with your situation directly. Do not just postpone or prepone the things. Just deal the situation directly at the same moment when it arises. If it can be postponed, please do that. If it is not very urgent, please do not bother yourself with the situation. But if you think that the situation is emergent, please handle the situation directly with whatever you have in your mind. Take your time in arriving at the decisions. Be aware of the consequences. Okay, now the decisions should be well thought. This I've already talked about, but once again, I'm emphasizing because this is very, very important. At times, we take decisions that were not worthy and we regret later. So even if, like the monkey could have decided to jump into the water, but the monkey decided not to do so. He wanted to be safe. मरना ही था तो वो तो क्रोकोडाइल की वाइफ भी मार ही रही थी, है ना? बट उसने ये नहीं सोचा कि मैं पानी में कूद के मर जाऊंगा बट तुम्हारे हाथ से नहीं मरूंगा. He was quick in taking the decision, but the decision was right that I have left my heart, I need to go back to the tree, and immediately jumped and was safe there. So the decisions have to be the right decisions. So
Right
take
decision at
time.
right time.
Right decision at right time, and obviously it should be mindfully taken. You should not be regretting your decisions later. That has to be taken care of. Anticipate life changes and plan to prepare for the change whenever and wherever it is possible. Obviously, we have anticipated our lives. We know what we have to do for our children, what we have to do for our spouses, what is expected of us at the workplace. We have a fair idea of all that. Please prepare your mind beforehand so that when the situation arrives, you are not out of your emotions and you have your situations in control. So that is again very, very important. We are human beings. We have to actually act differently from animals. Animals, they react. We are human beings. We have to respond. And I would rather say that even animals, they also respond at times. You must have seen that the wild beasts, they do not attack when they are not hungry. So human beings need to learn a lot from them also. They only attack when they are hungry. Otherwise, they would just not touch you. They would spare your life. Okay. Be conscious of your personal limitations before you feel emotionally depleted or get lifestyle diseases. Now, your personal limitations should also be considered. Now, if you're stressing yourself, you are obviously inviting problems in your life. You would be inviting diseases. You would become an ailing person. You should not do that. You should always define your limits. If I can stretch myself to a limit, please stretch yourself to that limit. If you think I cannot take this beyond this, please stop there and then only. It's not important to push yourself every time. If you think this is my limit, please put your foot down then and there. You are important and you should value yourself first. If you're not valuing yourself, you will not be able to do justice to your other relations. So that's very, very important. Before you invite problems to your own life, please make sure that you create a boundary and tell them to stay at bay from you. That is important. Okay, so a resilient person, how the resilient person acts, sees the challenges, thinks very positively, is empathetic, is feeling for the others also, is committed to the goals, is focused on what he can control. There are certain things that are beyond our control also. We cannot control all the situations because we are not the master of all the situations, and we should never try to handle them also. Please let them go. Let the situations be out of your control if they are not to be controlled. That's perfectly human. That's perfectly fine. You should not try to master everything. That's another fault in human beings. We want to master everything and we want to excel in everything. हमने एक काम पकड़ा तो हम चाहते कि हम उसको बिल्कुल perfect करके दें. It's not possible. We are human beings. We have actually certain limitations. We cannot go beyond that. So please drop what you think is not in my control. Please drop it there and then only for the sake of your own mental health. Okay, and doesn't blame himself. That's exactly what I was talking about in the above point also. Please stop blaming yourself. I did not do that, I did not do this, and I could have done that better, but I could not. Please stop blaming yourself. You have already given the best that you could have given. Otherwise you would have left the task then and there only. So if you have done, just that's what being mindful is. आप एक काम कर रहे हो, उसको best करो. Okay, so when you are doing something, please make sure that you are giving your best to that. And if you have no control over the things, please let them go. Okay, but you should have no regrets later. इससे बेहतर कर सकता था, पहली बार में best shot दो and then be satisfied that this was the best that I could have done. I have already given and now it is just like that only. Drop it and move ahead in life. Okay, now let us come to the top employability skills employers that look for. Now, we all know we have, I was just telling that we all are working, or even if not working, then also we are working at our home front, we are homemakers. So, how to go about what the employers or our family members are looking forward in us? The teamwork, obviously collaboration is very very important, and that's the reason why when we say that घर आने के बाद लगता है we are not able to control the things, this is to be done, that is to be done, please go for teamwork. Why do you want to finish all the things on your own only? Please request your husband, please request your children to be a part. It is their home as well. Please let them contribute. Please do not take things on yourself only and don't regret. It's okay. It's okay to share your work with them. It's their place as well. Let them feel at home. Then is creativity and innovation. You should always be creative. There's so many things to do creatively. Why are we just standardizing the things and we have taken all the fun from life? We can always be creative and innovative and we can add on things to it. Just try new ways to do the things so that you also enjoy the tasks that you have been given. If you are given task of teaching, if you are in teaching profession, please make it more interesting. Include activities, interact more with children, collaborate with them, make sure that your class and your sessions are interactive so that the children get equally to put in the class, and you would see that the children would start enjoying your class. You know them well because, and that's a way to connect with them. Okay, they would start appreciating your presence in class. They would wait for your session to come because they know that the teacher values us, she listens to us. That is very very important. See, one thing, in the present world, in this 21st century, every human soul is craving to be heard. And if you give a patient ear to the one who is sitting next to you, you have already won a heart. And try this. You would actually get results. Each one of us has so many things to tell. We are so overwhelmed that if you get patient ears to listen to, you would actually fall that for that person. Just be that person for somebody. Give your ears to them, lend your ears to them, hear them out patiently and tell them that you are with them, and see how you would find them around you when you would need them the most. That's another way out. Then is organizing and planning. We have already done that we should always organize and plan beforehand. We should not let the things happen to us and then we start planning. It's never like that. We always should have plan B. That's what the movie 𝗔𝗱𝘃𝗃𝗃 taught us, no? I hope everybody has seen that 𝗪𝗏 Singh Rajput's movie. He taught us that we always should have plan B, because then if plan A fails, we are not left with no option. We always should have an option to go for. Risk management is the plan B only. We should know how to manage the things when the things are not in our favor. Always a positive attitude should be borne by us, because it is going to show us the way. If we start seeing a negative, trust me, if you start nurturing a negative thought, you would have chain of negative thoughts. You would not find it with a positive thought. आपने एक positive thought को जबरदस्ती अपने अंदर inculcate करोगे ना, तब भी वो positive thought multiply नहीं होगी. But एक negative thought अगर आपके mind में आ जाती है, it gets multiplied and you start overthinking. Thinking, it's transformed into overthinking then. And then you think that everything that is happening with me is because of this and that, and thus you actually get trapped in your own self. But please stop doing that to yourself and break that circle. Then decision making and problem solving, we have discussed. Effective communication is very, very, very important, and that's how it is important that you should be a good listener as well. A good speaker is able to communicate effectively, yes, but there should be a good listener to the communication, because a good listener decodes the things the way they are said. It's again important. Taking initiative is what I suggested earlier also, that you should know that if I want to get the work done, let me initiate it. Let me show my team that I am one of you only. Let them not feel that I am their boss. वो आप मन में सोचो, अपने आप को खुश करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But then when you are sitting with your team, please let your team know that you are a part of them. And so you have initiated the task for them. You have guided them through. Now they just have to walk on their own. Leadership is important, because when you are a good leader, you are able to get your team to work. It not only shows, the leader does not only show the way, it also goes the way. So that is important. Negotiating and influencing. Now, assertiveness we talked about. When you are not comfortable with a task, please negotiate. I'll tell you a short anecdote here. Once there was somebody in our workplace to give an interview, and we got stuck at salary part. Okay, the candidate was demanding too much, and we were not ready to pay that much. And the candidate is like the skill of negotiating, I'm telling you. The lady said that I know that I'm perfect for this role, and I just want to give my 100% to this particular job. I know I can do better, and I know I can contribute to the vision of your institution, but I don't want to stress myself with my salary part. If I would not be happy with my salary, probably I would not be able to give my 100%. I hope you understand. And the management quickly actually thought in that direction, that if we are hiring somebody to that position, obviously we would have to pay accordingly. If we would not pay accordingly, definitely there would be conflict. And if there would be inner conflict, probably the person would not be able to give 100% to that job. So this is the skill of negotiation. Instead of asking for, I want this only and I would not come without this, please learn how to communicate your things. How you perceive a particular thing and how you present it is important. Okay. And then self-motivated.
Ma'am,
Again,
ma'am,
yes,
sorry
ma'am,
to
please.
interrupt, ma'am.
No,
Sorry to
ma'am, please tell.
interrupt. I have a doubt, and again, like, no, ma'am, I'm actually an academic coordinator in one school.
Yes.
I have fellow academic coordinators as well, who are well experienced than me. And I have only 8 years of experience, where 3 years in the beginning itself, 2 years I had academic coordinator experience. But here, once I joined, and in between, I had a lapse of being academic coordinator, where I have chosen to spend most of the time with my children. So chosen teaching alone. And after
Okay.
I joined the new institution, where I was where I'm getting a very good pay, ma'am. Honestly speaking, I'm happy with my pay, but I'm always, as I told you, when I go for the bed, I always have that dissatisfaction, and I usually used to compare my pay with other fellow people, and I used to think fellow ACOs, and I used to think that whether am I not giving my fullest, but I'm giving my fullest. I'm doing something extra, but always I feel like that dissatisfaction. Then you told me that I got clarification with that part. But still, when you were speaking about this negotiation and all those things, is that is normal of thinking that they are doing much more better than me? I feel that they are doing much more better than me, but it's a human nature. No, ma'am, we will compare and see. So I feel
Okay.
that dissatisfaction is quite normal, or how I can come out of it, ma'am? Like,
Ma'am, it's very normal. However, the example that I took, the lady was not comparing herself with others. She was comparing her own salary, the previous salary, with her present one. So competition is healthy, but it should be taken in the same sense. It should be in terms of qualities, not in the term of quantity that you are receiving. That should be with yourself only. So if you're competing, the competition should be with your previous version, with your own present version, or your future version that you want to see. Stop comparing yourself with people, because what your challenges are, they would never know. And what their challenges are, probably you would never know. Not everybody is sharing their lives with us, right? So there are situations, like I will again give you an example here. Because you told me that you belong to school community, there are several children who are coming and sitting in our classrooms, right? And suppose one has not done the work, we start scolding. We do not judge the situations, and we just pound over the child that why the work was not done. Some of us were hitting also earlier. Now the corporal punishment is banned, but we would never judge the situation of the children, and we would just pound over them. We never realize that the children who are coming to our classrooms, they probably are carrying their own baggage. Yesterday in the workshop, there was a teacher who shared this experience with us, that there was a girl who shared with the teacher that she had some family problem. There was something going on in the family. The father was terribly ill. Rather, I would want to show you one video also. It's not ready with me. Probably I'll share it with ma'am, and ma'am will share with you. The video is about a child. Now, the child, when gets promoted to, it's the story of the same girl. When she got promoted to the next class, the teacher found that she was not very interested in the class. She was not getting good grades also. And the teacher started judging the girl by the grades, that she is not worthy enough, and she would not pay any attention upon the girl. But then there was a culture in the school that the teachers would get the anecdotal records of the children. So once during the vacation, when the teachers are expected to come and join beforehand, she was there and she was reading the anecdotal record of that girl. She got to know that the child was scoring very well till the previous grade, and all of a sudden something went wrong with that girl, and now she was not able to come up to the level. So she read the story of the child. What the anecdotal record had mentioned, it was that the previous teacher had mentioned that the child's mother is seriously ill and she's not able to concentrate anymore. And then the end of this session, there was another anecdotal remark in the register for the girl, that she had lost her mother. Now, that could be the reason why the child was not performing up to the mark. The teacher all of a sudden was taken aback, and the child was hardly in grade 4 or 5. The teacher was taken aback, and she was feeling so remorseful that why would she judge the child without even knowing the background story. She had started, and then she started paying attention upon the child and was able to get her back to good grades. And the child actually improved slowly, and even when the teacher was not teaching, she was going and confiding in the teacher. So we never understand what could be the challenges of the other person. Now, as you were comparing yourself with others, you do not know what their struggle story had been. You do not know what they might have been through to reach to the heights that they are today. Probably they have given much more to reach to this salary grade. Comparing yourself with them would be too unfair to yourself only, ma'am. You should never do that. You are
ma'am,
getting.
it's not like that I'm getting less. Actually, I'm getting
Yes.
more. It's vice versa. where I
Okay.
feel that dissatisfaction might be if I'm not known about their pay, that wouldn't
Yes.
be put me in this sort of place, I think, ma'am. And then I always used to compare myself with that. I told no, ma'am, that 8 years of experience and my previous
Yes.
pay, the pay which I'm getting here is more or less equal, ma'am. If I would have stayed in the same place, would have got the similar pay what I'm getting now. But that
Okay.
is not my thing. I feel that since I'm known about their pay and how much they are giving, that made me to put in a state where I need to compare and to look into the certain
Ma'am,
things.
you would have to put, there are situations in life when we are reacting very human. This is very human. You started with that, you were right. It is human to compare, to put yourself in a situation and see that, okay, if the other person is getting that much or I'm getting that much, this is very, very human. But then therein life skills come to rescue, because we have to put in extra effort upon ourselves. We would have to tell ourselves that probably their challenges were different, and that is why their reward is different. God has chosen this for me, so I am here. Because of this, I will land up somewhere which is going to be a better place for me. So you would have to have a level with life, and you would have to understand that what is best for me is already served in my platter. I would have to appreciate this. And the more you appreciate your life, the best would come to you. This universe, this is the cycle of the karma. What you say, it reverts back to you. So this is what you would have to give. You would have to always be grateful for what you have, because that is the best thing that you could have ever. And being grateful is something which we all should practice. This is something that should come naturally to us, but it's now coming with efforts. I have observed that this is coming with efforts also. We are not very happy. We are not always grateful for everything. And that's why we have started teaching being grateful in school. We are teaching our children to be grateful every day. What are we doing in our morning prayers? We are telling the children to close their eyes, to join their hands, and to pray to God that we are thankful to God for these things. This should have come naturally, but we are teaching these skills to our children, that being grateful is a skill that you should know. Please be thankful for what you have, because when you would be putting yourself in comparison to others, you would always get pain. Stop yourself from getting that pain, because it is not meant for you. Stop inflicting yourself with that pain, because that is not meant for you. This is what you're creating for yourself. Instead, create a healthy environment for yourself. Practice resilience, practice silence, practice by meditating, and be at peace with yourself. That is very, very important. So give your
Thank you,
best
ma'am. Thank
at your workplace, and just be happy and satisfied, and see, you would attract more positivity.
Yes, ma'am. It's already started with that.
That's
Since
great.
thought of clarifying it. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next is financial literacy. Okay, financial literacy in 21st century is very, very important. You are earning, but you do not know how to manage your funds. You would be actually in a mess. So you should know where to put your funds so that it gives you good returns. Is to a skill. Ability to learn and adapt. Now, this is something which we have been talking quite frequently in schools these days. Unlearn, learn, and relearn. We have been talking about these terms every now and then. So what you have learned, if it is not worthy, because what we learned was probably 19th century, 18th century skills. Now we are in 21st century. We would have to make changes. We would have to change ourselves. So learn the new things, unlearn what is outdated, which is not in practice anymore, and relearn what we need to. What is the demand of the present day? Please make sure that you are upskilling yourself. And that's why CBSE has also come up with this 50-hour program, capacity building program, that is mandatory to be attended, because we need to upskill ourselves, because there are certain things that we cannot resolve on our own. We cannot upskill ourselves on our own sitting in our comfort zones. We would have to come collaborate, team up, and we would have to work on ourselves, because it needs efforts to change. It's very difficult to change, because we have been so used to ourselves. We are so happy with ourselves. It's never that we complain. We have any complaints with ourselves. आप अगर किसी एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में हो, तो आपको हमेशा आप अपने आप को डिफेंड ही करोगे, क्यों डिफेंड करोगे? बिकॉज आपको पता है आप कभी गलत नहीं हो सकती. यू कैन नेवर बी अ विलन इन योर ओन स्टोरी, राइट? यू हैव ऑलवेज बीन अ हीरो इन योर स्टोरी. So it is very very difficult to change yourself, to upskill yourself, because you start believing कि मुझे सब आता है. So that's the reason why we would have to accept the fact that the world is changing fast, and we have to move at the same pace if we want to live in the present world happily. That's another condition. So that's the end of the slide. And this particular picture shows and says and expresses all that we all have right to have a happy life. And that's why we are committed to have a happy life for ourselves. From today onwards, promise yourselves that I'm going to practice all the life skills that I've known for years. This was just a recapitulation that I did. You just have to practice them every day, and you have to be good to yourself. You have to be fair to yourself. Please be happy.
Any queries,
Value
any
your
questions?
life.
Now, I think Miss Jasmine has already cleared all the questions. Or if
Ma'am,
any,
no
please, you can go
queries.
ahead.
Twinkle, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no queries, ma'am, but I had a wonderful session, and no, like it was bit interactive, which made to clarify all my doubts and whether I'm on a right line or on a right track, and whether all the emotional things which I'm going through, whether it is normal or abnormal, all those clarifications I got. Thank you for that, ma'am. Thank you so much for
Thank you
your
so much,
insights
ma'am.
as well. Definitely, I'll be implementing it, whatever I have learned, few theories and that cycles, that iceberg, all those things I'll implement and definitely
Thank you, Kausalya ji.
groove myself, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that,
I
ma'am.
just wish, ma'am, from the depths of my heart, that whatever I have told, or through my experiences, whatever I have shared, must help you out, and you find a solution to the problems that ever
Yes,
you
Thank
come
you.
ma'am.
across.
Yeah,
Finger
thank you.
crossed. Thank you, ma'am.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our trainer, Miss Jasmine, for sharing invaluable insights and expertise, and to all participants for their active engagement and enthusiasm. Your participation and contribution have made it an interactive session. Thank you, Miss Jasmine. Thank you, all the participants, for joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.